Hello, I'm Noreen Burke, owner of Call Clutter Fairy Home Organizing, and this is my YouTube channel, The Crafty Organizer. Today I want to talk to you about 5-minute decluttering tips that you can use today. Number 1, clear off a counter. Now, I don't mean go into your kitchen and try and address the whole kitchen. I'm just talking about the area where things collect. So take 5 minutes just to put away the things that are out of place, but then let's start looking at what lands there the most. If it's mail, I'm going to address what we do with paperwork. If it's things when you first come in from the day, whether it be your keys, your wallet, your purse, address those items that land there the most and create a home. And for the next 5 days, challenge yourself to always put those items that used to land on your counter. Challenge yourself to put them in that new home so that your counter doesn't become a catch-all. The other thing that helps is create a pretty vignette there. Put some beautiful flowers or arrange your favorite decor pieces so that that becomes a visually happy place for you. But do your best to make sure things don't land there. And then if you find that it's catching up again, repeat as often as necessary by rehoming those things that keep landing there and creating permanent homes. Number 2, evaluate what things you have out on your counters. I know that I used to have my toaster out all of the time. We don't use the toaster that often. I see people with blenders and mixers are hard because they're so heavy, but evaluate the appliances you have out on your counters, and if you're not using them a couple of times a month, see if there is another place in the home where you can store them so that you have easy access to them when you need them, but you're freeing up that valuable real estate of your counter space. The other thing, if these are appliances you just don't use anymore, go ahead and donate them so someone else can get the benefit of those small appliances. Number 3, designate a home for paperwork. Now, this doesn't mean the place that it will permanently live, but if you were going through your countertop and you found that there were papers that needed to be filed, or things that you needed to read later, or bills you needed to pay, putting them out on the counter as a reminder ends up becoming visual clutter and you stop seeing it. So pick a place in your home, a basket, a drawer, a bin. In my house, I have a basket on the way out of the house because my garage is where my home office is. And anything that needs follow-up lands in that basket. Then once a week or every other week, I'll go through and I'll resort again. This isn't meant to be I don't have to look at it. It still requires that follow through, but now it's in one place. And the other wonderful thing about this is how often have you set it on the counter and now you need it and you're fishing through everything on the counter, you can't find it. If it's in that one designated place, you know absolutely where it is until you're able to address it. Number 4, pick a shelf. Now that you've done your counters and they're starting to feel a little bit better, go ahead and open up your refrigerator or your linen closet or your pantry and just pick one shelf to quickly sort through. Get rid of anything that you no longer need. If it's your food pantry, make sure you're getting rid of anything that's expired. And if it's your linens, make sure you're addressing things that just are extra that you don't need. Take that few minutes, pare down, neaten up, and you'll be amazed at how much better you feel when that one is done. Number 5 is something I do every single day, and that is pick up 5 things. When you have a few moments to spare and you're feeling like the area around you is just getting a little bit out of control, pick 5 things that are out of place and take the moment to put them back where they belong. We get blinders. We stop noticing the things. I had stuff in my kitchen yesterday, and as I was recording the little snippets of this, I had a mirror, which I didn't know what to do with, so I tucked against the wall, and I had Domino's toy box in front of it. Well, I put the mirror away, and I found a new home for Domino's toy box, and my kids walked into the kitchen and went, "Whoa, something's different. What's different?" They kept walking by these larger items that were against the wall and they stopped seeing what it was. But the minute it was gone, they noticed the space looked bigger and brighter and they couldn't even still articulate what it was. So taking just 5 minutes to put 5 things away will make a huge impact Number 6, make a maybe box. I know so many times when I'm working with my clients and we're trying to decide what things they can let go of and really be honest with the things that they can purge, there's always that sense of hesitation of, I might need this, I might change my mind. Create a maybe box. So when you are holding that item and you know you haven't used it for quite some time, but you might still find the need to use it, put it in the maybe box. Write the date right on it. Stick a Post-it note on it. Put a little piece of blue tape on it with the date. Put it in the maybe box. And then put a reminder in your calendar for 3 months or 6 months later. When that date pops up on your calendar, go look in the box. And if those things in there have been completely forgotten and unneeded, you could just take that entire box and take it to the donation place. Number 7 is going to be one of the hardest ones, at least for me, but I do try and adhere to it. Create a 7-day waiting period. What does that mean? You have been going through your house and systematically purging and decluttering, and it's starting to feel tranquil and lovely again. And then you go to the store and you realize, I have 3 cleared shelves. I can go ahead and buy this because I have space to put it in. That's what the 7-day hold is for. That 7-day period is, I want this item, go home, think about it, decide, was this really something that I wanted, needed, and will use? Or was it that impulse that makes me feel good at the moment because I found it and it was on sale or it was on clearance? If after 7 days you've still been thinking about it, go ahead and get it. Now, this is harder if you do a lot of thrift store shopping because obviously the item won't be there, but whenever it's a retail store like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and it's not a needed item for a project you're working on, do your very, very best to wait that 7 days. The thing I do is I online shop and I'll put something in the basket and then I'll wait. And honest to goodness, 95% of the time, I don't even remember the things that I put in the basket. But at that moment, I had the adrenaline rush of picking something out, realizing it was in my budget, putting it in the shopping cart, and then not having to bring anything home. So retail shopping is great online because you don't have to actually spend any money, but you get to peruse and look at things and put it in the basket. But a 7-day waiting period will really help to keep clutter at bay. Number 8 is pick 3 items of clothing from your closet that you no longer wear or that maybe isn't in the best condition that you can let go of. Now, I have been doing this slowly over time to the point where I actually need some clothes, which is kind of exciting. So I have about 5 pieces that I wear for the summer, which I need a little bit more of. I have about 10 pieces for the winter, and then I have my work uniforms. So I'm pretty good right now. There isn't too much more that I can get rid of. But when I started out, I had a huge closet of clothes. And comment below if you do this, but when it was time to get ready, I would go through the clothes and I don't want to wear that. That doesn't fit right. That needs a button sewn on it. And I would have an excuse preventing almost every item of clothing in my closet of why I couldn't wear it. Or I bought it because it was on sale. It was a good price, but I really didn't like it. It didn't fit me right. Those are the pieces get rid of. It's awesome to go into your closet and actually like every piece that's in there, know that they fit you well, and know that they're in good repair. Just take that 5 minutes, pull out 3 pieces. Number 9 I did a couple months ago, which is clean out your medicine cabinet. This is such a catch-all for medicines or for small things that fit in there. You just shove it in. Open that medicine cabinet up, see what things could belong in another place. Perhaps you already have a medicine box somewhere, or you already have a toiletries box somewhere else. Pull out those things that are obsolete, expired, or not needed. Tidy it up, and you'll be so happy the next time you open up that medicine cabinet. Number 10 is my favorite thing to organize in a home, and that is your junk drawer. The junk drawer becomes this wonderful, magical place of everything. And it's always so much fun to go through these. And especially when I'm with the homeowner, I'll hear, that's where that is. So take a few minutes, collect some boxes from your recycle bin or some small bins that you might have lying around, lay them out, and start taking all of the likes with the likes in that drawer. And you'll be amazed. The junk drawer is one of those vague places where everything can coexist. So you'll want to have a lot of little boxes or baggies to keep things straight, but anything that actually does have a home, return it to its proper place, and then you'll have easy to see categories in that junk drawer so that you can find things the next time you need it. Number 11 is one of my favorites, and it's something I desperately need to do myself. Set the timer and grab a handful of photographs. I'm going to be going through these. At the beginning of the COVID, when I did my garage, I had a giant plastic tub of pictures. And I actually sat down, and I wish I had recorded it, because it was one of those things I talk about where the dread is what made it the worst. I had a blast going through with my kids, looking at pictures. I probably got rid of, 70-80% of the pictures. They were duplicates. They were things of people that I didn't know anymore or weren't in my life. Or, sometimes we have pictures of people who've hurt us. Why do we have those pictures? It doesn't evoke a good memory, so we should let those things go. Likewise, how often do we go on vacation and we take pictures of everything to try and help us remember that wonderful vacation? But I don't need a picture of a sign to remember that I got to go to the Grand Canyon or whatever. So try and be mindful, purge those pictures you don't need. But then what I like to do is use these larger envelopes, the 9x13s. You can get these at most dollar stores, the 99-cent store, Dollar Tree. Write a category on there. Vacation, people, places, events. If it's specific things like your sister's wedding, write that on there. And then as you're coming through pictures, you can just go ahead and drop them into that envelope, and you'll start to create a system of categories where your pictures are organized. Then you can either start to digitize them, scrapbook them, or just go ahead and keep them in a box. And when you do want to reminisce about something, you can go through those envelopes like a file system, find that trip you took to Disney World, and get to go through the pictures. 5 minutes, grab a handful of pictures, and eventually you'll have a totally organized picture box. Number 12 is the one I get asked the most often in the comments below, and that's, how do I get my significant other, husband, roommate, children, family that I'm living with on board to help me stay decluttered? You guys, I really wish that that magic wand that I have in my logo worked, because there really isn't a one answer fits all solution. My best recommendation is lead by example, control only the areas that you can with your things, and the other is sit down and have a genuine conversation, not a nagging one, but one where you explain, look, I can't relax in my area if these things are all around. And explain to them, look, if you look around, all of my things are put away, and what I see is your things, your things, your things. Every once in a while, this is something I do with my family, because I'll remind and they'll go, okay. But for some reason, it's not as important to them, so they don't see the things. They'll step over things. So sometimes I'll get a couple of boxes and I will box their things up and then literally leave it in the middle of the floor. And although it bothers me, the next time they walk out, it's a new visual and they realize, oh, I didn't notice I had so many things out, and they'll take it. And I'll only give them a little bit of time to do that before I'll take the box, and I'll dump it back in their space. But communicating, patience, and a lot of gentle reminders. And sadly, that really is my best answer. It's very difficult when you have different people with different needs and different priorities to get on board with the same things. So my best advice is just control what you can. Keep taking those 5 minutes. Gently remind when you need to. And when all else fails, walk outside or go to your craft room or whatever happy place you have to get away from it, and then try again. Please let me know in the comments below which one of these tips will help you, or which one are you going to try and see if it helps you to declutter. I appreciate you guys watching so much. I'm going to be going to about every 2 or 3 days of posting videos now. I am starting to go back to work, which is wonderful, but it means I'm going to really miss you guys. Doing these every other day was such a fun personal challenge for me. It really caused me to go outside of my comfort zone in the projects that I was doing, and I had a blast. So I'm not going away. I'll just be seeing you a little bit less. So until the next video, bye.